Hi everybody, my name is Jin Moon and welcome to iHome Church. My sermon topic this morning will be For All the Right Reasons. I want to share a little story about my childhood that always kind of makes me laugh when I share it with people. And when you are in elementary school and you are talking or introducing your family, sometimes the teacher will make a chart and just hand it out to everybody in your class. And it will have a blank space for father, mother, occupation, job description. And so when I was an elementary school student, I got one of these sheets, and I've just come from Korea and starting to learn my English, and so I didn't really know what to call my dad other than how I perceive him in my daily life. And so under my father's job description, I wrote Messiah. And when it asked me to describe what he did, I said, well, he basically is in the work of restoring the whole world. And of course, now when I think back on it, it's quite funny. But I remember sharing this little story with my dad during fishing season. And I said, Dad, at school, I was given this sheet of paper where it asked me what my dad did. And I didn't really know what to say other than the fact that your job is the Messiah. And of course, my father laughed out loud. And I said, well, and I explained that it's your job to restore the whole world. And of course, my father laughed again. And on that day, I happened to be knitting. I was really into sewing, and there was this Japanese sister at East Garden who taught me and my younger sister how to sew a lot of things. So we sewed, shirts, skirts, and all sorts of different things. But she also taught us how to knit, and so I was knitting something on the boat that day when we were talking about my father's job description and his occupation. And my father laughed and he said, that's a pretty good answer. And he said, job of a Messiah is the work of restoration. But I guess the next time you are given a chart and you are made to ask, what it is, what a Messiah is, or what the job of restoration is, he said it can kind of be understood in what you are doing now. And I said, what are you talking about, Dad? And what are you talking about, Appa? And he said, a job of a Messiah is kind of like the job of a weaver or a knitter. And I didn't know back then that my dad was a fabulous knitter. I only found that out when I read his autobiography years later. But I kind of thought he knew quite a bit about knitting, and I was kind of wondering why. But he said the job of the Messiah is kind of like a knitter in that, it's you're constantly taking different strands and weaving it together, knitting it together to create a beautiful scarf or a beautiful blanket or a beautiful sweater. And the job of restoration is like learning to deal with knots. When you're not a very adept knitter, you make a lot of mistakes along the way. And, the fall of humankind is like this incredible, humongo-bongo knot that nobody has been able to unravel or to untie or to undo. And so the job of the Messiah is to come and to unravel and to untie and undo this knot that has held, the children of God captive in this miserable state for thousands of years, and really help the children to continue to knit or weave a beautiful tapestry or a beautiful scarf or a beautiful sweater or a beautiful blanket, and that we can all enjoy together. And so that conversation never left me. And, when I think about, knitting and weaving and, all of these different things, I thought about how when we think of the word Messiah, we tend to think that Messiah is somebody who comes pre-packaged, like somebody who's perfect, somebody who existed before, primordial existence and took on a physical form because he is God's son. And we tend to think that Messiah is incapable of growth because he's already fully formed. He is almost omnipotent, omnipresent, and he knows all things, and he is here to illuminate. But is he here to also grow? Well, the incredible thing about True Father is that he made it very, very clear in our lives growing up together with him that the most important mission of the Messiah is to create this first family, this first four-position foundation. And Father has taught many, many years, all throughout the decades, about really the family being that textbook of love, because this is where the growth takes place. This is where the husband rubs up against the wife rubs up against the husband, and there's a lot of grating, there's a lot of honing that needs to take place. But after many, many years of just continually working on each other, this beautiful diamond of an ideal couple emerges. And likewise, in the context of a family, the parent and the children also grate upon each other and also rub up against in sometimes incredibly painful ways. But with the heart of love and with an understanding that we are trying to work towards creating something precious, something worthwhile, and something beautiful, we continue on the journey. And so that before we depart this world, and ascend to the next one, we can leave behind a beautiful legacy of true love. And that's what it's really about. But I always found it fascinating that in the context of a religious community, and certainly like the one that we grew up in, which is the unificationist community, there's kind of like this tendency to kind of revert back to the Christian understanding that Jesus is God, and so Father is God, the Messiah is God-like, and therefore they are perfect. And it seems that that an understanding of growth, like growing together with the family, or father growing together with true mother, or true parents growing together with true children, is something that is absolutely alien to our understanding of things. But the incredible thing about having God's first family here is to show all of humankind the importance of growing together. Each spouse working with each other, parent working with the children, and by grating and rubbing up against each other, we all become more profound sons and daughters of God. And so some people might be saying, what the heck is Injanim talking about? How can it be that Father is growing? Well, Father is a human being, just like you and me. And thank God he is. Because for a human being, a representative son of God, to really be the kind of a person that he was, and to have accomplished all that he has accomplished in his life, it's an incredible testament to what we can do if we apply ourselves and if we work on our 5% responsibility, just like the way our true Father had to do. And the same goes for true mother. And so this beautiful interplay of a man and a woman working together, for the sake of providence, creating this beautiful weaving or knitting, that is going to result in this incredible tapestry, is a fantastic journey that I think anybody would be excited to be a part of. But of course, with any kind of an exciting adventure, for all of you who have enjoyed Indiana Jones series, like the way I have, and my children were a wonderful excuse to see it over and over again. Why do I enjoy it so much? Because it's a great adventure, because he is tackling the impossibility of obtaining whatever he desires at that particular episode. The impossibility of really gaining the victory. But the great thing about the movie is Indiana comes through all the time. The movie ends with a great victory, and he gets what he was hoping to get and accomplishes his short-term goal. And that's why it's so incredible. So we should have been forewarned when we have enjoyed these Indiana Jones series, that to tackle on a great adventure like the one that we're doing, weaving this incredible tapestry of true love, there's gonna be a lot of impossibles along the way, a lot of different obstacles, a lot of mountains to climb, a lot of caves that we're going to have to explore. But as long as we keep in mind that this impossibility can be overcome with a new understanding of looking at our situation and shifting our perspective to see the word impossible as I am possible, then incredible things start to happen. And so in the words of Claire Booth, she says that in order for a change to take place, we have to be willing to disturb the world. So the Messiah comes to literally disturb the world, make us feel incredibly uncomfortable, challenge us to do all the things that we never thought we could, and really challenging us to aspire to something that we never thought we could aspire to. But he comes with the mission to disturb the world, to change the world, and to really change this fallen world into this God's lineage and beautiful world of ideal families. And that's why the disturbing process is going to be an uncomfortable process. And so when Father talks about your spouse being your second Messiah, your children being your third Messiah, they are the Messiahs that is going to disturb your world. Your children are going to be the third Messiahs that are going to be the ones disturbing your world. But if we continue to work with our second and third Messiahs, with the heart of true love, with the heart of gratitude, understanding that what we deal with in the family will help us become better people, then we can learn to take a new perspective on our situation or on our families, and really find that strength or the courage to work and be persistent and be consistent in our efforts at building this ideal world. So I feel that, during this time when we're kind of looking at our true parents, as an example to follow, true parents, we have to be loyal to the sanctity of true parents, and we really have to honor and cherish them. But I think for a lot of us in the community, some of us don't really understand why we need to cherish our true mother just as much as we need to cherish our true father. Well, we need to cherish our true mother because now for the first time, the feminine voice of God is beginning to speak. And, when Father, or when Jesus Christ first came and delivered the word, and here comes true Father again as the Lord of the Second Advent, proclaiming the word, they called him the self-proclaimed Messiah because he is proclaiming a lot of things that disturbs the world, that makes the world feel uncomfortable. And likewise, during this time, True Mother, as the representative of the feminine aspect of God, she comes also to disturb the world. And she has an unfolding message that needs to be conveyed to the world. And that message is disturbing the world, or understanding our understanding of what a man and a woman is in relation to God. a lot of the things that she is saying is disturbing our community, or is disturbing different pockets of our movement. But she needs to do so. And many of people that I've come across have called her, the self-proclaimed true mother, using the same kind of derogatory wording that they said about true father. And the thing is, Messiah's job is to testify, is to speak the truth, whether we like it or not. And for those of us who do not fully understand the importance of our true mother, let me share something that was absolutely profound to me in my life of faith, growing up in the family. Because we come from a Christian background, the Inside the Belly Church and all the other Christian churches that existed at the time when Father started on his journey building HSA, UWC. There was all of this revelation, that Messiah had to come, and just like Jacob and his 12 children, Father, the Messiah, had to come and have 12 sons to really represent the 12 tribes of Israel. And that understanding was very, very strong and very, very influential in the early beginnings of our church. So much so that when our true parents' first child was born, in the other room, all the prayer ladies and all the brothers and sisters were chanting, "Here comes the prince, here comes the prince, here comes the prince." And lo and behold, my eldest sister, Yejinani, was born. And so the history of true family and the history of true children have been a difficult one from the beginning, because it really jarred, or it really rubbed up against the Christian understanding that the Messiah had to have 12 sons. And that was predominantly an understanding throughout many, many years, until one Sunday, 5 o'clock pledged. We all sat after doing the pledge and after doing the prayer, and usually after the prayer the family sits down and we enjoy a little meal of snacks and tea before Father prepares to go over to Belvedere to speak and give his Sunday service. But this Sunday in particular, Father was kind of closing his eyes, and he was kind of rocking back and forth like the way he does, and the children and the family were just quietly enjoying our snack. And then just out of the blue, Father said, "You did it, Amma," and just smacked my mother on her lap. And so the family was kind of shocked, and we were thinking, what is Father saying? And Father looked at Mother intensely, and then he smacked her again. He said, "You did it! You did it!" And then Mother was looking at Father stunned. The whole family was looking at Father and Mother stunned, wondering what Father is talking about. And then Father, he started counting all the true children. And Yejin, Hyojin, Hongjin, you had 14 children, Mother. And here we have, in the physical world, we have 6 sons, 6 daughters. You fulfilled 12. And for that Sunday service, it was almost like this, as if this incredible light just turned on in this family room. And Father said, "You did it. You did it, Amma. Huh? We have 12. We have 12. And then Mother just smiled, in the beautiful way that she does. And she says, "Yes, Father, we have 12 beautiful children." And it was after that Sunday, very shortly after, that Father proclaimed True Mother victorious. as that victorious Eve. And then, of course, the rest is history. Women's Federation for World Peace. True Mother was the international president. Now it was Father's job to push Mother forward, start speaking. And in a way, Father had to leave that testament or the legacy of True Mother speaking for more than 21 years before he departed this world for the next world. And in a way, Father wanted to make it very, very clear that this is what he wants. He was grooming True Mother for the leadership. He was preparing the church community for True Mother's leadership. And he wanted to show how he was the one supporting and pushing her out the door and really being her number one fan. It was really a beautiful testimony of a husband upholding and uplifting his wife, True Mother, and really True Mother uplifting and honoring her husband, True Father. So we saw this incredible example of true love, full blast. And we realized that, and I realized that, Father is somebody who is growing throughout this whole process too. And in relationship with his wife, he was able to recognize and really be excited about his wife's role in being victorious as that true parent of all mankind. And really, Father started out thinking it had to be 12 sons. But through that quiet persistence and that steel determination of Mother to really complete the number 12, Father came to recognize her incredible value and her accomplishment, and he celebrated it in full picture. And in big time. He didn't let anything hold True Mother back. And that is why true parents are so incredibly important. Because we realize that any kind of a religious community, any kind of a tradition that exists and have existed for thousands of years all around the world, they have been knitting their own kind of a tapestry for many, many hundreds and thousands of years. And the Messiah really needs to come to bring a new understanding of a man and woman's worth, what we are, who we are as God's sons and daughters. Because unless we truly understand how valuable a man and a woman is to God, only when we understand that do we realize how valuable we are to each other. And how valuable our life is, and how valuable our families are, that we have a chance to enjoy throughout our life. So a lot of the difficulty and a lot of the ugliness that still remains in this world. For instance, just recently on CNN, it was breaking news about a 19-year-old girl in Afghanistan that was stoned to death in broad daylight. And she was forced into an arranged marriage that she fled with another man. Of course, she, being the woman, was sentenced to death by stoning. And the man basically got a couple lashings on his legs. And so when you see the inequality of the treatment, if the couple is going to be accused of adultery, why is the woman stoned to death? And why is the man only receiving couple lashings? This kind of inequality that exists, not just in this example, but in many, many different situations around the world, are incredibly painful to our community. In many parts of the world, women still do not have rights to education. Women still do not have the rights to withstand the pressures of female circumcision. In so many places around the world, women are still treated like slaves. Women are still treated like possessions. So we need an example, a true understanding of what a woman is, a true understanding of what a sister is, a true understanding of what a mother is. That's why the role and the position and the sanctity of our true mothers' leadership is incredibly important in this next millennium as we work towards a world of true love. And so I feel that, when I look at true father and when I look at true mother and I see these two people really working together, really loving each other, I cannot help but feel that they are doing so for all the right reasons. And we as first gen, we as second gen, we have been following their examples through many, many different decades of suffering, of sacrifice, of really being out in the age of the wilderness. And we have sacrificed, and we have loved, and we have believed. And why did we love? Why did we sacrifice? Why did we believe? Because we wanted to believe and love and sacrifice for all the right reasons. And what are the right reasons? We sacrificed because we wanted to learn and practice how to live for the sake of others. We loved because we wanted to heal the world and experience what it's like to have real, true love in our lives. And we believed because we wanted to substantiate, we wanted to accomplish, we wanted to achieve this world of peace. And brothers and sisters, so at this time, just as we have sacrificed and loved and believed throughout the years, we need to continue because the providence is still unfolding and we still have work to do. And when we look around the world, there is a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of issues that needs to be addressed. But if we are going to be the community that is going to be the one instrumental in solving the world's problems, we need to learn how to do it within the context of our own family, within the context of our own community. And once we do that, then we will have the tools and we will have the know-how to take it to the next level, to our society, to our world, to our nation, and then to the world. It's Divine Principle 101, brothers and sisters. So for all the right reasons, we have to continue to practice loving, forgiving each other, and really trying our best to unite. So as difficult as it is that we are engaged in the job of peace building, as difficult as it is to stay united as one family, as difficult as it is to keep the sanctity of our true parents in our lives alive and well, we have to do what the disciples of Jesus Christ could not do 2,000 years ago. Let's not fall prey to all the temptations that the disciples of Jesus Christ fell prey to 2,000 years ago. We have to do better. And I think we can do better if we concentrate on doing the right thing for all the right reasons. We have sacrificed. Give the past all of our sacrifice, all of our blood, sweat, and tears as a dedication from our heart, not as something that we're going to be resentful for. We have loved throughout the years. Let us continue to work to build that authentic, real, and a true love relationship in our families and in our communities and in our world. And we have believed throughout the years, through many, many decades of incredible odds, incredible obstacles. But let's also not forget to celebrate incredible victories that we all partook together with our true parents. So brothers and sisters, let us not fall prey to all the disturbances that are rampant in our midst. But let us really kind of be that son and a daughter that can really be the symbol of filial piety, that can really be the emblem of loyalty, and that can really be a physical manifestation or a physical representative of true love or tribal messiahs that our true parents are hoping that you and I can all be. So brothers and sisters, go forward with strength, with love, and with dignity. and for all the right reasons, let us continue to love, forgive, and unite, and move on, and build something incredibly beautiful. So have a wonderful week, and God bless.
As I lay up on my bed, I began dreaming of how it's gonna be the day that I am free. Once I settle like the dust upon the table, then you came along. You helped me write this song. I don't know what day it is, I don't recall the seasons, and I don't remember how we got this far. All I know is I'm loving you for all the right reasons. In my sky you'll always be my morning star. Like a tired bird flying high across the ocean, I was outside looking in. You made me live again. From the mountains to the prairies, little babies, figures fill their heads, visions painting red. I don't know what day it is, I don't recall the seasons, and I don't remember how we got this far. All I know is I'm loving you for all the right reasons. In my sky you'll always be my morning star. From the train in Manchester, England, lightning fills the skies as I watched you wave goodbye. From the mountains to the prairies, little babies, figures fill their heads, visions painting red. I don't know what day it is, I can't recall the seasons, and I don't remember how we got this far. All I know is I'm loving you for all the right reasons. In my sky you'll always be my morning star.
If you have any questions and comments, please leave them below the video or go to jinmoon.com and use the contact form. And don't forget to subscribe to our email list. And for those of you who want to contribute to our work here at iHome Church, just click on the donate button. Thank you.